That's why you need that time with yourself, to get to know yourself, to get to understand that you've paid attention to the external environment for so long, but you haven't paid attention to you. And you may think that some people know you, but they just have like impressions of you, only fragments of you. I can only know fragments of you. I can, for example, if I meet you today, right, and we become friends, and for like a month we spend time together, in that 1 month I will only know a part of you, right, and some bits that you may tell me about your past. But what I get to experience with you in the present moment for a period of a month, that's just a part of your existence that I get to experience, isn't it? But then you, my friend, is the person that has been there all the time, and you're gonna end up with yourself at the end of this journey. So do you think you do not owe it to yourself? Yes, you do. You do owe it to yourself. Smile if you can. If you cannot smile, if you don't feel like you can smile, don't force it. Just hear me out. If you think of suicide, well, it's one of the highest, if not the most risk involved, right? Because it's 100% uncertainty. It hasn't been in your experience, and it's not gonna be until it happens naturally, right? A natural death. That's what we all need, which is nothing wrong with it. It's just the cycle of life. But then, why would you want to cause such cruelty to oneself? Well, I can understand that it can get triggered by many aspects, many situations, many things that have been on your shoulders for so long now. But hear me out still. Hear me out still, and here I am still. Although I've struggled with those kind of suicidal ideations myself for quite a long time, and something kept me going for sure, and something is keeping you going for sure, and something made you come to me, not to me, but to this fragment of myself which I'm putting out there for you to explore. Yeah. Well, if you are so close to taking such a high risk with no certainty of what's gonna come next, right? What's gonna be next? Well, you might as well, that's what I did, by the way, you may as well take that risk in your life experience as you are still alive, and as you still have the power and ability to take the leap of faith for yourself and say, oh well, if I am so close to taking such a risk, I may as well take a more reasonable risk, right? Because think of it like, whatever has caused you, the condition that you find yourself in, that has pushed you so far towards your grave, unrealistical, isn't it? Well, we all tend to just comply and live by the tradition, culture, environment, habitual and routinic, pretty much like live religiously upon whatever we've been taught that is right to do, whatever we've been taught to do, and whatever we fear that if we don't do, someone's gonna get upset and we're not gonna make someone proud anymore. Well, is that pride worth anything at the moment? Is that pride worth anything looking back for all those moments, so much time that you've complied to that and it took you nowhere, and all that you can look upon, maybe, I'm not sure, but most cases it's someone else's pride of, well done my son, well done my friend, you've done the right thing, they would say, right? But is it? Because everything in nature is neutral. If you look from a point of neutrality upon something, there's no right or wrong. It's just things happening, right? Everything happens. The moment you say something is right or wrong, that's when in your mind it becomes as such, you perceive it as such. So where I'm going with this? Well, not to go too far from the topic. You see, my friends, you see living beings. You have a life force within you, which sometimes you feel like extinguishing it. Maybe, because you're still here, right? This may be interesting for you. Well, look, just look. You may as well take a risk of taking a leap of faith in your own life to step away from all the factors, all the people, all the conditions, all the limitations that you set for yourself, or that some other people have imposed on you, and you're just following them religiously, thinking that that's life. Well, my friend, it's not. The moment you start to experience life to its fullest is when you get some of this, you get some of that. Well, it happens, you know. Life is life. You get to experience a bit of pain, but that's not the topic. I just thought you may be curious what happened to me. You just fell with the skateboard. Had a little too much fun and confidence with the skateboard. Took a little risk there, you know. But it's all good in the end. I'm here for a reason, so I'm still alive, and I'll still be until I finish my job here on this planet. Because now I know what my purpose is, and part of it is to wake up the planet. Yay. Well, are you ready to be awakened, my friend? Okay. So, take a risk, but not a risk that you cannot predict at all. You cannot. How could anyone say, if I told you what happened after that, if I told you reincarnation? Yes, I do believe in reincarnation to some extent, but it hasn't been in my experience. If I just tell you some philosophical thing that would like make sense to you, would you just believe it just because you want to believe something, or do you want to actually have an experience so that you can be 100% certain that it's true? That's what I'm getting at. Take that risk. Explore something that you haven't explored so far. Explore different dimensions. Go different directions. You cannot go the same direction, following the same rules, or being obedient and all that on the same things, and expect that your inner state is gonna change and you're no longer gonna seek to be in your grave. Because it's a pity, like, you know, just think of it. If you just live to wait to die, that's just like, enjoy the process. Like that's the part of it. Like that's the beauty of it. Just like with anything else, if you don't enjoy the process, you're just there for the outcome. You're not gonna enjoy anything, right? Because the outcome may not come. So if you feel desperate, because that's what I felt back then when I took the risk and just separated myself from all that I've been taught that is right, all that I was doing at the moment, just distracting myself with like video games, you know, mainly video games. I would say that was my main source of distraction. I was just distracting. I was just taking me away from the real life experience. I was just keeping myself between four walls, you know, and just doing nothing in a real sense, not experiencing life. I was just experiencing a virtual projection. But then think of it. Where do you think we come from? Why do we play video games sometimes? Because we want to escape life, right? But then think of it. If you and me were in a place in the universe, having everything at our feet, anything would be possible for us, and there was nothing but love and joy and all that. And we thought like, you know, I'm a little bored, let's play a video game, right? Up there, you and me. And we said, yeah, let's play a video game. And we've designed our own video game. Imagine that. I'm not saying that's true. I have no clue, but it's an insight. It's something that came to my mind, and it just made me laugh, like, because looking at me playing video games and realizing that I was just trying to escape the reality because I wasn't enjoying it. I was getting bored easily by being engaged in the real world, this real life experience. Well, the moment I looked at it from above, from a different angle, from way above, and just thought that, hey, maybe that's why I'm here, because I was too bored having it all. And I thought I'd get a little creative and join this game, become a character of it, and wash myself off completely. Come here with nothing at all, right? Nothing at all. No knowledge, no experience, right? Just like in a progressive game, in an RTS, or call it better, a MOBA or strategy game. What was it called? Wait, there's a specific one. RPG. That's it. An MMO RPG, just like that. Just like World of Warcraft. You heard of that? No experience, right? You start from the bottom. No experience. But then it gets so far, and the more you explore, the more experience you gain, right? Well, I feel like sometimes we get so lost into a video game because it was so well designed that it's so similar to our life experience and the things that we encounter here and the things we need to go through here and the way we need to develop and build up on our experience and evolve and gain new powers, new abilities, right? That's all possible. I'm telling you, like, I'm experiencing right now some things that my old self wouldn't thought possible. So that's what I'm saying. Explore. Go beyond. You want answers? Seek for it. Seek for them. Don't just go Google, hey, what's the purpose of life? No. Don't. That's pointless. But you can instead go about, I don't know. All I can say is that, like, getting in touch with a spiritual realm kind of thing, or getting in touch with just the spiritual world in a sense, got me to a point where I started to, like, do certain practices like meditation, yoga, preparing my body for higher possibilities in a sense, my body and my mind and my whole system, and then discovering that there's something more within. There's something else which isn't physical in nature, but it's there. This is what I truly am, and I'm no longer gonna be operating from a place of unconsciousness and the habitual repetitive patterns that my family, my parents and my ancestors passed me through the genes, through the DNA, their own compulsive behaviors to deal with, and no longer fall a victim for them. You can look at any situation as an opportunity to grow, other than something bad that has happened to you. No. It's something that you can use to grow from. This simple shift in your mindset can change the whole thing, right? But getting back to it, try exploring something new, something that hasn't been in your experience, but fly in my mouth. That's definitely something I've experienced before. Yeah, you know, just wash yourself off everything that you've been taught to. I know it's gonna be a hard process because there's a lot of, like, disintegration and pretty much giving up what you've become so far. And if you call that progress, my friend, you can stick to it. But realize that whatever you've become at this point, if you have those thoughts, if you have that inner state, that state of being that only looks towards the grave, the point that you are part of this planet, part of the soil, you are just buried down, well, try taking on a new personality that's shaped by different experiences, different parts of this existence. The moment you get to explore more, to experience something else, something more, higher and new possibilities can enter your life. Doors will open that were locked, or you just wouldn't go through them because they weren't like properly lit, and you thought that, oh well, I'm just gonna go for the ones that are lit because it's safer. But do you want to live safe, or do you want to live a full life, a life full of events, a lot of contrasts? Because otherwise you're just gonna be bored of whatever you've experienced so far if you just keep the same old routine over and over again. Depression will be natural. I can tell you this from my own experience, from research, from other people's experiences as well, or points of views. But essentially, I would just tell you, maybe I'll give you a little insight, maybe, but I'd tell you, just become creative with this, yeah? Just become creative with this. Do it in your own way, whatever feels best for you. All I can tell you that the moments I've done that, it was a moment of complete desperation, and as I was telling you, instead of like, as I was contemplating, ideating suicide, another thing came to me that, oh well, I may as well take another risk that is, it may still be uncertain, but it has a sense of certainty because I will most likely still be alive, right? At the end of the day, I may still be alive. And if I'm not gonna be alive by taking this risk, which I couldn't imagine that is the case, because when you take risks, there's a high reward at the end. For you stepping out of the cycle, it comes with great rewards. You just need to bear the fruits, water the seeds, remove the weeds, you know the story. So, stripping myself of everything that I've been taught, disconnecting from social media, from all the people that I knew, just so there wouldn't be like any influence in the background for me to re-interact with and reshape my whole personality upon my interaction with a person in the past, because that's what happens. That's why you need that time with yourself, to get to know yourself, to get to understand that you've paid attention to the external environment for so long, but you haven't paid attention to you. And you may think that some people know you, but they just have like impressions of you, only fragments of you. I can only know fragments of you. I can, for example, if I meet you today, right, and we become friends, and for like a month we spend time together, in that 1 month I will only know a part of you, right? And some bits that you may tell me about your past. But what I get to experience with you in the present moment for a period of a month, that's just a part of your existence that I get to experience, isn't it? But then you, my friend, is the person that has been there all the time, and you're gonna end up with yourself at the end of this journey. So do you think you do not owe it to yourself? Yes, you do. You do owe it to yourself, just as I did owe it to myself, to, instead of focusing on everything outside of me, just shifting my focus inside of me. That's what changed the whole game. Just starting to understand how the human mechanism functions by real experience, not scientific research, because that stuff doesn't stick with you. You may hear that, I don't know, for example, we do not use our full capacity of our brains. We use only like 1 or 2% of our full capacity. Well, yeah, that's pretty much a fact, I suppose. But then if you don't get to experience that, and to get to experience like the unlimited potential that a human mechanism can access and actually possesses, but it's still dormant in a sense, it's not being accessed. once you have that experience and you get to experience deeper parts of this existence, you get a higher receptivity, a higher sensitivity to everything around you. You get to experience everything at a different level. That's a whole shift. But then this is something you cannot share through words. Language is limited at this level, because the way I experience life, if you don't experience it through me, through myself, there's no way I can make you understand how it feels, how it works, right? So that's why I can tell you that there's much more to life, but that's about it. I cannot tell you because it's no different colors. It's just too much to put into words. It's gonna take a while to break the cycle, to pretty much remove the weeds, as I said, and declutter. Start the decluttering process and start becoming the parent you've never had but you've always needed. You can just look at yourself as you would at your own child. Try this. This has worked tremendously well for me. Just looking at myself just like I would at my own child, and just going like, would I let my own child be like that? Would I allow my child to have this behavior? And then just start educating yourself in a real sense, a sense of education you've never received before. I know that's a lot. Oh, it may be not. You can make anything out of it, really. Everything that I've said here, everything that I shared with you, you can make anything out of it. All I wish for you is to experience with it, to take the risk, to step out of everything that's familiar to you and get to explore the unfamiliarity. You get me. You understand me. Well, yeah, that's all that comes out at the moment. I will sure make more videos on this topic, because I know how hard, I know how tormenting it can get at some point. I know what places depression can get you to. What places like loneliness, being lonely, you can get into so many dark places just by being lonely in your own company, just being with yourself and being lonely. That's not me at the moment. I'm being with myself most of the time nowadays, and I feel so complete, so whole. I do not need anyone else. I do get to interact with other people, but that's a choice. That's a place of want, not a place of need. I do not need, but I want. Sometimes I wish to experience people. Sometimes I would like to have someone else's presence, but if I don't, that's completely fine. I still got myself to explore and experience with myself and do whatever the hell I want, because there's no limits other than the limits that you set upon yourself. So break the limits, my friends. Break the limits. Be free for a while. Feel the freedom. Feel the air. Feel the breeze. Feel how it is like to be free of all that you've carried around with you for so long. As I said, it's not gonna happen overnight. Start the process. If you need more details, if you want to hear more details, if you want me to share my whole experience of detoxing my whole being and just starting to be true to myself, starting to pay more attention to myself and to focus on myself first, then I would adhere to anyone. I'm very empathetic, I'm very compassionate, but if I don't have myself, I have nothing to offer, because all that I have lies within me. That's my gift that I carry around, and I just take a few pieces here and there and spread around me to other people, to other creatures, to any form of life. Maybe water a flower this day, maybe plant a seed the next day, maybe feed a squirrel the next day, maybe smile at a human being just for being. Take it easy and let me know if you want to hear more. Let me know anything. If you just want to share your story, I may be able to give you some like personal insights for you, own needs. But essentially we all have the same needs at the base level. We all share the same needs. It's still a subjective matter. So do let me know if you want. Do share your own experience. And if you want me to share the whole experience in more detail, I have no other desires than to do so. I mean, I do have a lot of desires. There's so much more to explore, right? But until then, let's just focus on what we're going on at the moment. It's just slow the pace a bit. Just remind yourself that we are still alive. There's still so much more. There's still so many opportunities, so many moments ahead to explore and expand our limitless potential, to get to discover our true authentic nature and to become the best versions of ourselves in our own ways. We all have a gift, we all have something to share, a color that's not on the spectrum. That's something, my friend, that lies within you. You just need to dig a bit